Welcome to Missouri Net Mornings. I'm Bill Pollock. You know what? It happens. It's embarrassing, but it happens when a Major League Baseball hitter gets a base hit into right field and then gets thrown out at first. And you've seen it before. I mean, it does happen. It happened last night to Billy Butler. It is still embarrassing. Let's show you the play. Ninth inning, 1 out. The Royals are down 6-5. Billy Butler up against Jansen, their closer, and he steps in. They hang a pitch into right field. Here we go. Throw. Batista nails him. He's out by a good half step. It's embarrassing. 2 outs. Now what ended up happening was Billy Butler singled. They brought in Gerard Dyson, who stole a base, scored on an error. Royals tied it up, ended up winning 8-6 in 10 innings. But Batista, strong throw, nailed it. But here's my point about this. All right, and I mean, look at that. He's actually out by a good step. So embarrassing. I mean, Billy Butler's slow. I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often. But to Billy Butler's defense, they're playing on that field turf, AstroTurf, whatever they have in there. It's a line drive, a rocket of a shot. Hit fairly short, one hop to Batista. You know what? I mean, that's there's not much you can do with that. So I'm going to let Billy Butler slide on this one, even though he is slow. I mean, that's just you're playing on that stuff, bounces, it's fast. All right, we'll let him slide. Now, so Little League play, out by Little League play, Royals come out and win, no harm done. My son just started umpiring, and I went and watched him in his first game. It was the first game of the season for 13-year-old girls that were playing softball. And as someone like myself who's coached and has watched kids play as a parent, we've all gotten upset with umpires and calls and the way they do things, but it's an interesting perspective though when you go to watch a game and your kid is the umpire. It was pretty funny to hear how parents and coaches act, and it was a great learning lesson for me to kind of step back without a dog in the fight, without somebody playing, or in a game in which I was coaching, and just kind of observe. And so I wanted to pass along some things to you as a parent or a coach, things to think about. And it certainly helped me watching. I mean, the umpires are human, and they're going to make mistakes. The key is, do they correct them, and do they end up making the right calls? And that's what my son ended up doing. There was one, he called the strike 3 on a batter, and the scorekeeper from the other team just yelling at him that it's 2 strikes. It's only 2 strikes. And just railing on him. So he called time. He went out, talked to the field umpire, and they confirmed it was 3 strikes. He says, you know what, I didn't have my clicker fixed. And he goes, I had the wrong strike count. And he goes, apologize for it. And she says, what, don't you know how to count? So he got yelled at for that. There was another one, a play at the plate, where he called the girl out, but the was on a wild pitch. The pitcher tagged the runner. The runner came sliding in, called her out, but didn't realize that the ball had rolled away. Couldn't see it. Bodies had blocked it. Oh, my gosh, you would have thought that it was the end of the world. Parents and coaches screaming. He saw it, made the right call, and somebody made a comment, come on, can't you see that stuff? Listen, if you're getting the calls right, you got to give the umpire credit. So now I'm not just sticking up for him because he's my son. But anyway, so I'm leaving the field. He finishes his first 2 games. He did pretty good. Didn't blow any calls where there were some questions. They fixed them. It was fine. Great finish. I'm leaving the ballpark, and this old lady looks at me, and she thought I must have been a part of their team because I was sitting on their side of the bleachers, and she says, well, maybe we'll get some different umpires next week. And I said, well, I don't know. One of them was my son. I thought he did a pretty good job. And you talk about a jaw-dropping. It was like, you talk about backtracking and everything. So anyway, take it easy on the umpires. They're out there doing their best job. And I found that the umpires that explain their calls, stick by their calls, and are confident, you tend to go with them a little bit more. But, alive, just, don't beat up on them. So if you're out at baseball or softball games this weekend or next week, whether you're a coach or a fan, just take it a little bit easy before your emotions get too high. Let the umpires try to figure things out before you jump down their throat. That's my advice for you this weekend. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you again next week here at MissouriNet.com.